time period is, that financial gap. And the smaller you can make the gap, the less money it takes to run. So that's all I'm focused on right now. And that's how I got the nickname Cash Flow Mike, because I stopped it a long time ago. Profit is just the result, right? It does
Glad,
my business model.
I'm
Cash
glad,
is what proves if you're doing well.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
So tell me, Mike, what happened? What's going on with the people? With the
Wait,
enterprise?
yeah, you know what's funny is that you just mentioned it, it was lost in translation, right? So my was called "Don't Be a Dumb Business Owner."
There you go.
Right now, dumb doesn't mean to me. It doesn't mean that they're unintelligent. They don't understand my business, right? And I was that way. I was sitting at the kitchen table just in the early 2000s, and I was struggling with cash flow. And you got to tell you, want to lose sleep, if you want to hurt your relationships, stop paying attention to cash, because that's what's everybody in your life mad at you, right? From employees to your wife to, So it's one of those things where I'm sitting at the kitchen table and I'm like going, how come I can't? I've got an MBA from Baylor University here in Texas, and I'm like going, I'm not. Just don't understand my business because I didn't understand this concept called the financial gap. Understand is because I spent all of my time working in my business things, right? So my first business was a hotel staffing company. I was only worried about getting a contract so I could put labor into their hotel, making sure people showed up, sure people got paid. I really wasn't paying attention to what I built. So things that we do, the thousands of things that we do on a daily or weekly basis, every once in a while you got to back and say, hey, what did that create? What happened? What was the result? So this financial cause and effect chart. And I built it just to finally figure out the decision. What did it cause? But later on, I now use it to the decision. What am I going to cause, right? What can I expect next? And that's what I think people need to understand, that there is a consequence or there is a reward to making a financial decision. But I think you have to think through it first, right? Before you just act. We just get to where we have to act fast and just slow down. Unless it's a life or death issue, it's okay to take a beat and think about what you're doing before you make that step.
Mike, how you decide to become an entrepreneur? There is an entrepreneur in your family. How you end up doing this business in Texas? Because I want to know.
All right. So, hey, I got to tell you, my first job out of college was not right. I was a state trooper. I was a police officer, and I did that for 7 years. I was a state trooper. I was just chasing bad guys, and I could see my whole life ahead of me. I'm going to do and retire just like everybody else that was in the state patrol with me. Well, my wife told me we were going to have our third daughter, and that's determine that your family can outgrow your income, right? I just had too many people to take care of. There's too many people in the family, right? Yeah, and then you got to say, and I'm writing a student loan check for the master's degree, and I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I writing speeding tickets when I could actually be a degree trying to do something that actually generates wealth for the family and takes care of us better? I did, and I got to tell you, if you got people that are listening to this right now, they are scared to take that step. Maybe they don't know, but they think they want to be in business, but it's a really nice job that maybe pays them 50 or $100,000 a year. You're like, oh man, I don't know if I can do it. Hey, do it. I know you're scared. I was scared. It was scary the first couple of years. Now I'm in the position where I wouldn't go back to a job, right? I just would. You're probably the same thing. I would not go back to work for somebody else. I'd probably be the worst employee.
Welcome to the club. Yeah. In order to become really who they really are and what they want to be, sometimes that incident, sometimes the worst day of your life is the best day of your life. And how many good entrepreneurs we have lost because life was playing for them and they play safe and that's it. And now they die without fulfilling the dreams.
Yeah. What's really interesting is that when I left the house, the secure job, secure money, it wasn't easy, right? It
The
struggled,
big
and what
freeze.
kept, what's that?
It's a huge risk. What your family told you?
Huge risk. Yeah.
Mom, dad, friends, they told you
Yeah.
crazy.
I burnt my savings, maxed out my credit cards. I was doing everything to go in. This is the 1900s, right? Back in the 1900s, 1999. What kept me going was the fear of being embarrassed if I had to go back to right? Because after I told people, I said, I'm going to make it. I'm going to do something with myself. I'm getting out of here. Back. That to me was scarier than actually going through the motions of. And for the first couple of years, it was tough because you learning on the
Welcome to
fly,
the
right?
club for everybody. Because
Yes.
we don't know what we're
But
doing. We just need to learn, right?
but during that time, I'm like going, oh my gosh, I celebrated, and this is going to sound weird, but word nobody. I celebrated nobody. And here's what I mean by that. Nobody told me that I couldn't do it. Nobody told me what to do. It was just me, the battle myself at that point in time. And I had mentors and I had people that kind of, guided me through. But you have to embrace the fact that you now have autonomy. And what my mindset shift was is that I'm going to build style friendly business because I started to like getting to the office when I was ready to, going on a holiday when I wanted to, or taking a trip here, or pulling the computer
It's amazing, Mike.
and working by the pool.
It's
Yeah. So just
amazing. It's amazing.
once you
Priceless.
nothing else matters anymore. You're like going, I'm actually supporting the lifestyle I want to live.
But let's talk about these first 2 years because I have them.
Yep.
And we all have been there because, for example, now if I ask you the question, Mike, is this easy to make money with me? Harvey, it's very easy to make money. I just make a couple of phone calls, I flip a business. For me, it's easy to make money. Yeah, it's easy now because you have the knowledge, you have expertise, and you have this skill to become a good entrepreneur that gave you these first 2 years or 4 years or two. The first 2 years for me was exactly 2 years. I was wearing all the hats and I was just me. I didn't know anything. I become an entrepreneur. I didn't by accident. Just me. I started with the
Yeah.
property. The thing started to make money, and that's it. I was in business. I was not even new. Not even what marketing was. I find out after 2 years what marketing actually means. I didn't have a clue. Somebody told me about a year ago, do you know that you need to file tax? Yeah, you need an accountant. An accountant? Yeah, you need that thing. So
Yeah.
things like this, I was figured out. I was focused only again in sales to make sure that I can sell the product, so I can pay the landlords, and the whole thing appeared. And I always said that become an entrepreneur, good entrepreneur is a skill. It's developing a skill. The more you practice, the better you become. These 2 years is like you learning how to ride the bicycle. So how do you battle in your negative emotions in these 2 years? That when things doesn't work, when you start in a business, because nobody knows you, the supply want to charge you more, nobody knows you, the client want to pay you less, nobody knows you. It's tough to find the first client. You get these 2 years are tough because you are all alone and all you're getting is negativity and things not working for your business and things. And then you call your family and friends. I told you, you're crazy. Go back to your job. What are you
Mm-hmm.
doing? So you're kind of alone, taking so much pressure from all the fronts. And now you have your family, your kids, your dad. Then you go to your house and you have your daughters, and now you have one more. The children. Now you're gonna have one more.
Yeah.
So how you cope with that pressure?
First of all, I think I was in a very unique position, right? Because my first job was a state trooper, alone anyway. And talking to people I didn't know, that's all I did every day. So
And having
all I
discipline,
did
and having
yeah.
discipline also comes with that as well, right? Which is very
Yeah,
important.
right. So I mean, it's just I looked at it as when I got into business, I'm like going, yeah, it's hard because it's new. It's not hard because it's harder than what I just did. Pulling somebody over in the morning on a dark road is a lot harder than asking somebody to buy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's like what am I scared of? Well, and then ask this person to buy my stuff. And I had the opposite problem the first. Mine wasn't about sales because I got kind of addicted to that, going, oh, I just got to walk in here and somebody to buy. Well, I liked that part of it, right? I didn't mind sales. My problem was growing too fast, and I experienced a phenomenon called broke. right? And let me explain. I actually opened offices in 9 states in 3 years and had a couple
Oh
hundred people
my
working every
God.
day, right?
Wow, this is
Because
fast.
that's what it was just easy,
Boss.
right? I'm like going, hey, I just go out there and I sell, and whoever wants to do the business, right? I had found a formula. I had found a couple of things that worked. I joined the hotel associations because I was selling hotel businesses. I was a natural inside a room, right? I just go in and I could talk to anybody and get business. Problem. I didn't realize early on that Marriott paid their bills in like days, right? Well, guess what? I got to do every 2 weeks. Payroll, payroll, payroll,
Mm-hmm.
payroll. And it was a whole different type of pressure, right? And it wasn't like
Yeah.
I was somebody on the side of the road. It was a pressure of, oh my God, there's 100 families counting on me checks. That was a whole different level of stress that you bring to yourself.
Oh
I
my
had to
God.
figure out the timing of money real fast. Yeah, and I went to Marriott. And you're using my like your own, right? Because it was like you're using my staff like your own. So if you hired these folks, you would have to make the payment like I'm doing. Now I realize that that's one of the reasons you outsource is you don't have to make the payment. But can we tighten it up a little bit? Not 90 days. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, stop treating my invoices like they're paper towels. These are people, right? Treat it like
Exactly.
payroll. Marriott, the contact at the accounting department says, yeah, we don't want to hurt your business. So they started paying me in about 45 days and the whole world changed. I had more money. I don't 3 payrolls instead of 6 and everything changed. And that's where I learned that concept gap. It's the difference between money coming in and money going out. You have to have enough cash,
Cash
access to
flow.
cash and a line cash flow to cover that time period, right? You have to time period is that financial gap. And the smaller you can make the gap, the less money it takes to run. So that's all I'm focused on right now. And that's how I got the nickname Cash Flow Mike, because I stopped it a long time ago. Profit is just the result, right? Does
Glad,
my business model
I'm
cash
glad
is
my
what proves if you're doing well.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.